welcome back here to the channel, guys. Following Barcelona's very, very big victory over Real Betis yesterday, I am back here with player ratings. And if you followed the channel for quite a while, you'd know that back in the day, I did used to do player ratings after every single game. I kind of stopped doing them under Valverde because at the time, it was difficult. I don't really like to give players low ratings all the time, so that's why I didn't really do them anymore. But under Setien, and after a big win, I'm back here with some player ratings. We'll see how it goes. I'll see the reaction there from you guys to see how it goes down. We may well continue this sort of video format, but let's see how we get on. And let's kick right off with Marc-Andre ter Stegen, who I thought at the Benito Villamarín, when the pressure was on, when he was being pressed very, very high, his distribution on the night was absolutely outstanding. I'm going to go there with 8 out of 10. You look at both the goals, one of them was a penalty that he conceded, the other one was a wonderful, wonderful strike from Nabil Fekir. There's not really anything ter Stegen could have done differently to stop any of those goals, and like I say, his distribution, his handling of the pressure was very, very good on the night. That's why he gets 8 out of 10. Moving on then to Nelson Semedo, though, in the right back area. I didn't think Semedo had a good game yesterday. I really, really didn't. And that's coming from somebody here who has high hopes of Semedo this season under Setien. But yesterday, I didn't think he played well. I'm going to go there 5 out of 10 for Nelson Semedo, simply because quite a few times yesterday, he didn't have a disastrous game overall. But there were a few moments that spring to mind where he was in his own penalty area and he gave the ball away in a really bad position. And you just can't do that. These difficult away stadiums, you give the ball away in bad areas and very, very often you're punished. That's why I didn't really like what I saw yesterday from Semedo. But moving on to Samuel Umtiti, it gets even worse. Unfortunately here, we're starting now with some low marks. Umtiti, 3 out of 10. And I do feel quite harsh for giving him that, but at the end of the day, he was bad yesterday. You look at him there, of course, for the Fekir goal. He backs off him. He gives him all the time in the world. But in general yesterday, I just felt like Umtiti, he looked so slow. He looked miles off the pace. He couldn't really keep up with when Betis were on the attack. He didn't really close down spaces. It was a bad performance yesterday. I hate to say it from Umtiti, but that's just the way that it is. And alongside him, Clement Lenglet had a pretty mixed game, didn't he? He started off by giving away the penalty, which led to Real Betis opening the scoring. He, of course, ended up scoring the winning goal, which is an absolutely incredible moment and massive for our game. And then, of course, he got himself sent off. So, all in all, Clement Lenglet yesterday had a very unique hat-trick. Penalty given away, goal, red card. I'm going to go there with a middle-of-the-road 7 out of 10, because I actually think there, out of all of our defenders, Lenglet was the best one yesterday. Admittedly, the defence didn't exactly play well, but Lenglet was the best out of the 4. And of course, like I say, he did get us there, that winning goal, and for that reason, he gets a 7 for me, in what was a very entertaining game for him. Then on to Junior Firpo, who I've given there a 6 out of 10 on the night, and I've got to say, it was difficult for him coming in a game like this, and I do feel for him because at the end of the day, Setien has given him a big chance. I don't really feel as though he's taken that chance. He didn't really. I think in the attacking areas we missed most of all. There was a few times where we worked the ball down the left-hand side, and there was so much space that he could have moved into, but he didn't. And that's all down to confidence at the end of the day. I don't think by any means that Junior was a disaster. He did some good things defensively at times, but overall, nothing really special, nothing stand out for him. That's why there, I've gone with 6 out of 10. Moving into midfield then, starting with Sergio Busquets, who of course got that massive goal just before half-time, and I've gone there with 8 out of 10 for Sergio Busquets, and I've gone there with 7 out of 10 for Sergio Busquets, and I thought there he had a very, very decent display in that midfield. He was good on the ball, as he always is, in that kind of role. Like I say, he got a big goal, and I just think there, at the base of that midfield, when teams are pressing high, he's one of the players there who's under the most pressure, and more often than not, he dealt with it really, really well and had a good game. One player, though, for me, who did not have a good game is none other than Sergio Berto, was played there in that midfield role, and I just don't think it works. I don't think that Sergio Berto in that role works out. It certainly didn't yesterday. He gave the ball away on numerous occasions. Of course, from Sergio Berto, you're always going to get maximum effort. He's always going to cover a lot of ground. He did get booked, though. I think he was actually quite lucky to avoid getting sent off there. He was making quite a few fouls in our own own half, I would go there 4 out of 10 for Sergio Berto. I would say there on the night, he was our second worst player, and I do feel for him, of course. He is somebody who sort of played all around the field. He's never really given a familiar role, but at the end of the day, in a game like yesterday, it could have cost us. One player, though, in that midfield who I thought was outstanding on the night, it is none other than Frenkie de Jong. I've gone there with 8 out of 10 for him yesterday. Of course, he scored that brilliant first goal, which got us back on the right track after conceding early on, but it was his overall game. He looked much more confident yesterday. It was much more the de Jong that we know. He's still learning a completely different role. He didn't used to get forward this much in his time at Ajax, so even now he's still developing his game. But I thought yesterday his touches, his combination play with Messi was all very, very good. 8 out of 10 there, a strong showing and encouraging signs for Frenkie de Jong. It's a bit of a mixed bag though in midfield, isn't it? Because he then moved to Arturo Vidal, who was of course taken off there in the early exchanges in the second half. I'm going to go there with 5 out of 10 for Arturo Vidal. He of course gave the ball away in a bad area, which led to Nabil Fekir's goal. But I also do feel a little bit sorry for him because he's having to play right now in a number of different roles. He is of course a midfielder. He is somebody who's very energetic, who can get box to box. But yesterday, we were asking him to play really as a false 9 at times. He was having there to go between Messi, to go between Griezmann, to play almost at times like that forward type player because of our lack of options. I do feel in that regard to Vidal, he is going to grow into the role. He is more suited perhaps in those home games where we dominate possession and it's a lot more comfortable. In those sort of games, he can have big impact, and I still have faith for him under Setien, but yesterday didn't really work out. 5 out of 10. Now on then to the hat-trick hero, maybe not in the way that it usually is for Lionel Messi, but he did yesterday leave with a hat-trick of assists, and I'm going to go there with 8 out of 10 for Lionel Messi, and even that does seem a little bit harsh, simply because, once again, he was decisive, once again there, he was at the forefront of everything good that we did in the attacking areas, but obviously Messi would be looking to leave the game with a goal. At least 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3 yesterday. The chances were coming in front of goal, and he was very unlucky that he didn't get on the score sheet, but that'll come. That will come. Messi yesterday looked good. He was certainly passionate. You saw him celebrating there. The first goal, certainly the second goal there. He was so happy that we were back in the game. And Messi, as he always is, the most influential player for us, key in everything we did. 8 out of 10 for Messi. And that there is by Messi standards. His strike partner, Antoine Griezmann, though, did not have such a successful game. I've got to go there, unfortunately, with 5 out of 10 for Antoine Griezmann. One thing that I will say is he always gives maximum effort in those late exchanges there when Real Betis were pushing for that equalising goal. Griezmann never gives up. He was even back there defending, putting in the work. You've got to give him credit for that. But in an attacking sense, he was nowhere. He was nowhere to be seen. Pretty much the entire game, he didn't have an impact. And I just don't understand right now what we've got to do to get the best out of Griezmann, because he's not involved enough. You want him getting on the ball, you want him there receiving passes, and of course it's not all his own doing, but you've got to come and get it. And at times yesterday, didn't work out for Griezmann, wasn't really the game for him. 5 out of 10, sadly. We move on now then to the substitutes on the night. Jordi Alba came on there just into the second half, and I have to say Alba for me did very well when he came on. He came off the bench there with a good attitude. He was dropped in this game, but he responded well, and that's good to see. I'm going to go there with Jordi Alba, 7 out of 10. Very energetic on the left-hand side, helped a lot more in our build-up in attack. Very nearly set up a goal there for Lionel Messi just minutes after he came on. And the same there, I would say, for Arthur Melo. He came off the bench, had a good impact there, a lot more control in his play. He also very nearly, of course, assisted Messi there in the latter exchanges in the game. And I think Arthur is going to grow in this team. Obviously, right now, we've seen him start on the bench for a number of games under Quique Setien, but he will work his way into that starting lineup. It's only a matter of time. Things are looking better for him. As for the final sub, Ivan Rakitic, he was only on the field for about 3 or 4 minutes, so I'm not really going to go there and give him a full-on rating. What I would say, though, is he had a bad game. He had a bad cameo there when he came on. He only touched the ball 9 times, and in those 9 touches, he managed to give the ball away 3 times. It wasn't a good cameo from Rakitic. I think Setien will be looking there and analysing exactly what these players have given him, and as the weeks go on, he will have a good idea of who he can trust and who he can't. And as for the man himself at the centre of everything, leading this team to a big away victory, I'm going to go there, Quique Setien, 8 out of 10 for last night's management, simply because I think the starting lineup, it was brave, it was bold. I think Junior Firpo, of course, put in there at left back. Was that the right decision? I would also look there into midfield at Sergio Berto in that sort of role. It didn't really work out. Setien has to find some sort of solution for that. But what I would say is, you look there in the second half, you made a double change after 50-odd minutes. That's really good management there. To look at the game and think, yeah, things aren't working. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to make a change now. And it really helped us. Setien is clearly making changes. We're clearly seeing a change in the Barcelona mentality, as well as the style of play. Things are looking positive. It was a big win for him. He can be very happy. But of course, as he admits, the best is still to come. So that there, guys, are my player ratings for Real Betis against Barcelona last night. And of course, the main thing about this video is, what are your thoughts? What are your player ratings? I'm sure that you will disagree with some of the things that I've said. But look, as long as we keep it respectful, that's absolutely fine. Everybody there is going to have their opinion. That's what the channel is about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Let me know if you want to see these videos more often after games. And of course, I will see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.
Barça, Barça.